The quantum interference patterns on Dr. Victoria Rhodes's holographic display shouldn't have existed. She blinked hard, rubbed her tired eyes, and looked again at the readings from the Atacama Large Millimeter Array. The patterns remained, pulsing with an impossible regularity that made her heart race. "Marcus, are you seeing this?" she called out to her research partner. Dr. Marcus Patel looked up from his own console, his dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of multiple screens surrounding him in the observatory's control room. "If you mean the quantum signature that's breaking every known law of physics, then yes," he replied, his fingers dancing across the haptic interface. "It's like nothing in our database." Victoria pulled her silver-streaked black hair into a tight bun, a habit she'd developed over 20 years of research when something significant was about to happen. At 48, she'd seen her share of astronomical phenomena, but this was different. The patterns weren't random. They were structured, organized, and most importantly, they were getting stronger. "Contact General Blackwood," she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Authorization code Omega-7 Delta." Marcus's eyes widened. In 15 years of working together at the Quantum Astronomy Division of the Global Defense Network, she'd never used that authorization level. His fingers trembled slightly as he initiated the secure quantum communication link. Within moments, the stern face of General Diana Blackwood appeared on the main screen, her expression sharp despite the late hour in Washington. "Dr. Rhodes, this better be important." "Ma'am, we've detected multiple quantum signatures approaching the solar system. They're using some form of advanced cloaking technology, but our QSD arrays are picking up their wake patterns." Victoria transmitted the data with a gesture. "Based on the displacement patterns, we're looking at a fleet of at least 30 vessels, all larger than anything humanity has put in space." The general's expression remained neutral, but her posture stiffened. "Hostile." "Their approach vector and attempted stealth suggest military formation," Marcus added, pulling up additional analytical overlays. "They're being careful, trying to stay hidden. If we didn't have the quantum detection grid, we would have never spotted them." "Time to Earth orbit." Victoria checked the calculations. "At their current velocity, approximately 72 hours, but they're clearly capable of faster-than-light travel. They could arrive sooner if they choose to." General Blackwood nodded once, her decision made. "Initiating Silent Shield Protocol. Dr. Rhodes, you'll coordinate with Defense Grid Command. Dr. Patel, I want continuous monitoring of their approach vector. If they so much as sneeze, I want to know about it." The transmission ended, and immediately the observatory systems began shifting into military mode. Panels that had appeared to be simple wall sections slid aside, revealing advanced weapon systems and defensive screens. Across the globe, similar transformations were taking place at seemingly innocent scientific installations. "They think they're being clever," Victoria mused, studying the approaching fleet's formation. "Using quantum fields to bend light around their ships, probably thinking we can't detect anything beyond basic electromagnetic signatures." Marcus smiled grimly. "Should we feel insulted they think we're that primitive?" "They'll learn soon enough." Victoria's fingers flew across her console, coordinating with other observation posts worldwide. "Humanity hasn't put all its cards on the table. We've kept our real technological advances hidden for exactly this scenario." The quantum signatures grew stronger as the alien fleet approached, their confidence in their stealth technology evident in their direct approach. They had no way of knowing that Earth had mastered quantum detection decades ago, choosing to keep that capability secret while presenting a deliberately modest space presence to the galaxy at large. "First contact protocols?" Marcus asked, though he already knew the answer. Victoria shook her head. "Not this time. They chose to come in dark, trying to catch us unaware. We'll return the favor." She pulled up the command interface for the global quantum defense grid. "Let them think they've succeeded in surprising us. It's time humanity showed the galaxy that appearances can be deceiving." As she spoke, the first detailed scans of the alien vessels began coming through. The ships were massive constructs of some crystalline material, their designs both beautiful and terrible. Energy readings suggested weapons that could reduce cities to ash if they ever got the chance to use them. "Multiple quantum spikes," Marcus called out. "They're launching what appear to be stealth probes toward Earth." Victoria nodded calmly. "Right on schedule. Send the alert to all QSD stations. Observe only, no active scanning. Let them think their probes are undetected. She allowed herself a small smile. The Nexus Confederation is about to learn that humanity has been preparing for this day for a very long time. Across Earth, hidden preparations decades in the making began to quietly activate. In underground bases, orbital platforms disguised as communication satellites, and seemingly ordinary research stations, humanity's real defensive capabilities waited. The aliens' overconfidence would be their undoing. Message from Defense Command, Marcus announced. Operation Ghost Shield is now active, all stations on silent running. Victoria looked up at the night sky through the observatory's dome, knowing that somewhere out there, the alien fleet was approaching, confident in their superior technology and tactical surprise. They had no idea they were flying into the most sophisticated defensive network ever created. "Welcome to Earth," she whispered to the distant ships. "I hope you're ready for some surprises." Commander Thex of the Nexus Confederation stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Stellar Dominance, his forearms crossed in satisfaction as he studied the holographic display of the target planet. Earth looked peaceful, primitive, and completely unaware of the fleet approaching under perfect stealth. "Status report," he commanded, his crystalline exoskeleton catching the light from the bridge's ambient illumination. "All ships maintaining quantum cloak integrity," his second-in-command, Lieutenant Vrax, reported. "Our probes have penetrated the atmosphere and are reporting minimal defensive capabilities. Their most advanced weapons appear to be chemical propulsion missiles and basic energy weapons." Thex's mandibles clicked in amusement. Another species that developed radio technology before mastering quantum mechanics. How predictable. He expanded the holographic display, showing the positions of his 30 ships arranged in a perfect invasion formation. "Begin Phase 2. Deploy the surveillance drones." Deep within the Pentagon's Quantum Defense Center, General Diana Blackwood watched the alien fleet's every move on displays that shouldn't have existed according to humanity's public technological level. Around her, dozens of officers and analysts worked with quiet efficiency, monitoring the invasion force's actions through quantum detection arrays hidden across the solar system. "They're launching secondary drone platforms," reported Colonel James Henderson, his dark skin illuminated by the holographic displays. "Looks like they're setting up a comprehensive surveillance net." "Let them," Diana replied, her silver hair pulled back in a severe bun. "Keep our countermeasures passive. I want them thinking their stealth technology is flawless." She turned to her quantum communications officer. "Status of the Ghost Shield." Lieutenant Olivia Chen nodded crisply. "All nodes reporting ready, ma'am. The quantum interference grid can be activated on your command. Dr. Rhodes's team has provided full analyzing capabilities of their ship systems." On the main display, red dots representing alien drones spread across the globe, settling into a precise geometric pattern. Each one was being tracked by dozens of hidden quantum sensors, their every transmission intercepted and analyzed. "Fascinating," came Dr. Rhodes's voice over the quantum comm. "They're using a triadic quantum communication system, advanced but not as sophisticated as they think. We're intercepting and decoding everything." In high orbit, aboard the Stellar Dominance, Commander Thex received the first detailed reports from his drone network. "Primitive chemical rockets, basic satellite network, no quantum shielding detected. Their most advanced military bases still use projectile weapons." He turned to his weapons officer. "Prepare the demonstration package. We'll show them true power before offering terms of surrender." The weapons officer, a towering insectoid named Krilks, began the activation sequence for their primary weapon systems. None of them noticed the quantum fluctuations that rippled through their ship systems as Earth's hidden sensors mapped every detail of their technology. Back in the Quantum Defense Center, Diana watched the aliens' preparations with cold calculation. "They're powering up weapons," Colonel Henderson reported. "Energy signatures suggest some form of plasma-based delivery system." "Time to show them a card from our hand," Diana decided. "Dr. Rhodes, you have authorization to proceed with Protocol Omega." In the Chilean observatory, Victoria Rhodes allowed herself a small smile as she initiated the carefully prepared response. With a few commands, she activated a subset of Earth's quantum defense grid, targeting not the alien ships themselves, but the space between their drone network. On the stellar dominance, alarms suddenly blared. "Commander," Lieutenant Vrax called out in alarm. "We've lost contact with the drone network." "Impossible," Thex snarled. "Check the quantum relays." "The drones are still there, sir, but something is blocking their signals. I've never seen anything like this. It's as if the quantum field itself is being manipulated." In the Pentagon, officers watched with satisfaction as the alien fleet's drone network went dark. Not destroyed, just quietly isolated from their control systems by precisely calibrated quantum interference fields. "Should we be concerned they might detect the quantum manipulation?" Colonel Henderson asked. Diana shook her head. Dr. Rhodes designed the interference pattern to mimic natural solar quantum fluctuations. As far as they can tell, they're experiencing a completely normal phenomenon they should have accounted for. On the alien flagship, frustration mounted as every attempt to reestablish control of their drone network failed. "How could these primitives have developed technology to interfere with quantum fields?" Thex demanded. "Their science isn't nearly advanced enough." "No sign of artificial intervention, Commander," his science officer reported. "The disruption matches known patterns of solar quantum flux. Our drone shielding should have compensated, but—" "Incompetence," Thex spat. "Launch the secondary drone wave, this time with enhanced quantum shielding. We will not be delayed by natural phenomena." Victoria's voice came through on the quantum comm, containing a note of amusement. "They're deploying their backup drones exactly as predicted. Shall we show them what else we can do?" Diana checked the tactical display, noting the positions of Earth's hidden defensive platforms. "Not yet, Doctor. Let them deploy their full secondary network. The more resources they commit, the more devastating the revelation will be." The alien fleet continued their preparation for invasion, unaware that their every move was being monitored, analyzed, and countered by technology they believed impossible for humanity to possess. Their confidence in their superior technology and stealth capabilities was about to become their greatest weakness. "Message from the stellar dominance," Lieutenant Chen reported. "They're preparing to broadcast terms of surrender to all Earth's major population centers." Diana's lips curved in a cold smile. "Perfect. Let them make their announcement. It's time humanity showed the galaxy that appearances can be very deceiving indeed." The quantum transmission from the stellar dominance blanketed Earth's communications networks, overriding all frequencies with their message of dominance. Commander Thex's voice boomed across every device capable of receiving a signal. "People of Earth, your primitive civilization now faces its moment of truth. We are the Nexus Confederation, masters of quantum technology and rulers of 17 star systems. Your resistance would be futile. Submit to our authority, and we will guide your species to enlightenment. Refuse, and we will demonstrate power beyond your comprehension." In the Pentagon's Quantum Defense Center, General Blackwood watched the transmission with practiced calm. "Dr. Rhodes, are you ready to proceed with Phase 3? "Quantum countermeasure grid is fully charged," Victoria replied from her observatory in Chile. "All nodes reporting optimal functionality. We can begin whenever you give the word." Diana turned to Colonel Henderson. "Status of civilian evacuation protocols." "All major population centers have activated their quantum shelters under the guise of routine emergency drills," he reported. "The public remains calm, treating the alien transmission as either a hoax or entertainment. Our social management protocols are working perfectly." "Very well," Diana straightened her uniform. "It's time to educate our visitors about the dangers of underestimating humanity. Initiate Operation Quantum Dawn." Aboard the stellar dominance, Commander Thex waited for Earth's surrender with supreme confidence. His fleet's weapons were charged, ready to deliver a devastating demonstration of power if these primitives showed any sign of resistance. "Sir," Lieutenant Vrax called out suddenly, "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the planet's surface." "Probably their primitive nuclear weapons," Thex dismissed. "Their most advanced technology is no match for our quantum shields." "No, sir, these readings are different. They're unlike anything in our database." Before Thex could respond, his ship's quantum shield grid suddenly flickered. Across his fleet, alarm signals blared as previously undetected energy patterns emerged from Earth's surface, atmosphere, and orbit. In the Chilean observatory, Victoria Rhodes initiated the first stage of humanity's counterstrike. Hundreds of quantum manipulation fields activated simultaneously, creating a complex web of interference patterns that began systematically disrupting the alien fleet's defensive systems. "The beauty of quantum mechanics," she murmured, watching the cascade of effects, "is that at its most fundamental level, reality is all about probability and interference. If you understand the patterns well enough, you can make the impossible not just possible, but inevitable." On the stellar dominance's bridge, chaos erupted as system after system began failing. "Impossible!" Thex roared as his tactical displays showed his fleet's quantum shields collapsing under the assault of technology that shouldn't have existed. "These primitives can't possibly understand quantum manipulation at this level." "Multiple energy signatures detected," Vrax shouted. "They're everywhere: orbital platforms, ground installations, atmospheric generators. Our sensors are detecting advanced quantum technology across their entire planet." In the Pentagon, Diana watched with satisfaction as Earth's hidden defensive network revealed itself. Satellites that had masqueraded as simple communication relays transformed, deploying quantum weapon systems. Ground-based installations that appeared to be scientific research facilities activated their true capabilities. "Message from Dr. Rhodes," Lieutenant Chen reported. "The alien fleet's quantum shields have been reduced to 40% effectiveness and falling. Their weapon systems are showing signs of cascade failure." "Excellent," Diana activated the global command channel. "All units proceed with Phase 4. Show them exactly what humanity is capable of." Across Earth's orbit, dozens of hidden platforms synchronized their quantum manipulation fields, creating a devastating interference pattern that targeted the alien fleet's primary systems. Ships that had seemed invincible moments before now found themselves struggling to maintain basic functionality. "Commander," Krilks called out in panic, "we're detecting quantum manipulation technology far beyond anything we've encountered. They're not just blocking our systems, they're rewriting the quantum states of our technology." Thex stared in disbelief as his mighty fleet was systematically disabled by a civilization he had dismissed as primitive. "How?" he demanded. "How could they have hidden this level of advancement?" The answer came in the form of a transmission from Earth, displayed on the stellar dominance's main screen. General Diana Blackwood's face appeared, her expression one of calm authority. "Commander Thex," she began, "perhaps it's time we had a proper discussion about humanity's place in the galaxy. You assumed that because we hadn't established colonies beyond our solar system, we must be technologically primitive. The truth is, we simply chose to focus our efforts differently." Victoria's voice came through on the quantum comm. "Their fleet's quantum shield grid is now completely neutralized. Weapons systems are offline. They're practically defenseless." Diana nodded, continuing her transmission to the alien commander. "You see, Commander, while other species rushed to claim territory across the stars, humanity dedicated itself to mastering the fundamental forces of reality. We recognized that true power lies not in the size of your fleet, but in your understanding of the universe's basic principles." The alien fleet hung motionless in space, their mighty ships rendered impotent by technology they hadn't believed possible. Earth's defensive platforms maintained their quantum interference fields, ready to escalate if necessary. "The choice is now yours, Commander," Diana concluded. "You can either open diplomatic channels for peaceful dialogue, or we can demonstrate just how much more of our capabilities remain hidden. What's your decision?" Commander Thex stood motionless on his bridge, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the emergency lights that pulsed throughout the stellar dominance. The mighty flagship of the Nexus Confederation, a vessel that had brought entire civilizations to their knees, now floated powerless in Earth's orbit. Around him, his crew worked frantically to restore their systems, but the humans' quantum interference made their efforts futile. "Status report," he demanded, his voice lacking its earlier confidence. "Quantum shields remain offline," Lieutenant Vrax reported, all four hands moving across multiple control surfaces. "Weapons systems are completely disabled. The humans' quantum manipulation field is evolving. Every time we attempt to counter it, it shifts to a new configuration." In the Chilean observatory, Dr. Victoria Rhodes monitored the aliens' desperate attempts to regain control of their ships. "Fascinating," she commented to Marcus. Their quantum technology is actually quite sophisticated. They just never considered the possibility of someone understanding it better than they do. Incoming transmission from the stellar dominance, Marcus reported. They're requesting a temporary ceasefire for diplomatic discussions. At the Pentagon's Quantum Defense Center, General Blackwood allowed herself a small smile. Accept their request, but maintain all defensive measures at full strength. Dr. Rhodes, continue monitoring their systems for any attempts at reactivation. The main display switched to show Commander Thex, his imposing figure somewhat diminished by the situation. General Blackwood, he began, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into English. It appears we have significantly misunderstood your species' capabilities. Indeed, Diana replied coolly. Perhaps now you understand why making assumptions about a civilization's technological level based on their visible space presence is unwise. On screens across Earth, civilians watched the exchange with a mixture of awe and pride. The social management protocols had worked perfectly. Instead of panic, the public responded to the revelation of both the alien threat and Earth's hidden capabilities with remarkable calm. Decades of carefully crafted entertainment and media had prepared humanity for this moment. Colonel Henderson approached Diana with a new report. Ma'am, we're detecting quantum communications between the stellar dominance and what appears to be the Nexus Confederation's home territory. Let them call for help, Diana responded. Dr. Rhodes, are you getting this? Already analyzing the transmission, Victoria confirmed. Their quantum communication technology is impressive but predictable. They're requesting reinforcements, a fleet of at least 200 ships. The news brought murmurs of concern from some of the junior officers, but Diana remained unperturbed. Excellent. The more of their forces they commit, the more thoroughly we can demonstrate humanity's capabilities. On the stellar dominance, Thex received confirmation that reinforcements were en route. He turned back to the communication screen, trying to project confidence he no longer felt. General, while we await the arrival of the rest of our fleet, perhaps we could discuss terms that would benefit both our civilizations. Diana's expression remained neutral. Commander, let me be clear. We detected your reinforcement request. 200 ships, I believe. Before you continue, you should know that what you've seen of Earth's defensive capabilities represents less than 10% of our total quantum defense network. The alien commander's mandibles clicked in shock. Impossible. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical using your methods, Victoria cut in, her face appearing on a secondary screen. But you're still thinking in conventional terms. We've learned to manipulate quantum fields in ways your scientists haven't even theorized yet. To demonstrate her point, Victoria initiated a carefully controlled quantum surge. Across the alien fleet, systems that had been disabled suddenly reactivated, but under Earth's control. The ship's own quantum cores now pulsed in perfect synchronization with Earth's defense grid. As you can see, Diana continued, we could have destroyed your fleet the moment you entered our solar system. Instead, we chose to demonstrate our capabilities in a way that leaves open the possibility of peaceful cooperation. Thex's crystalline form seemed to deflate slightly as the full implications became clear. His civilization had ruled through technological superiority for centuries. Now, they faced a species that had surpassed them while deliberately maintaining the appearance of a pre-quantum society. The reinforcement fleet, he said slowly, they will not respond well to this situation. Then I suggest you explain it to them very carefully, Diana replied. Because if they arrive with hostile intentions, they will experience the same demonstration you just did, though perhaps not as gently. Victoria's voice came through on a private channel. General, I'm detecting significant changes in the quantum signature of the alien ships. I think they're beginning to understand just how completely we've surpassed their technology. Diana nodded. The next few hours would be crucial. Either the Nexus Confederation would accept the new reality and open genuine diplomatic relations, or they would learn an even harder lesson about humanity's capabilities. Commander Thex, she addressed the alien leader, you have a choice to make. You can be remembered as the leader who opened peaceful relations between our civilizations, or as the commander who led 2 fleets to humiliation. Which will it be? 3 days after Earth's demonstration of power, the reinforcement fleet from the Nexus Confederation dropped out of quantum space at the edge of the solar system. 200 warships, each larger than the vessels in Thex's original fleet, emerged expecting to find Earth either conquered or under siege. Instead, they found something unprecedented in the Confederation's history. Their advance fleet floating powerless in high orbit, completely at the mercy of a supposedly primitive world. In the Pentagon's Quantum Defense Center, General Diana Blackwood watched the new arrivals with calm confidence. "Dr. Rhodes, status of our defensive grid." "All systems operating at optimal levels," Victoria replied from Chile. "The quantum interference patterns are already adapting to their shield frequencies. Interesting, their technology is slightly more advanced than Thex's fleet, but still follows the same basic principles." The massive holographic display showed the new fleet's formation as they cautiously approached Earth. Their weapons remained powered down. Commander Thex had apparently managed to convince them that hostile action would be unwise. "Incoming transmission," Lieutenant Chen announced. "It's from the flagship of the reinforcement fleet." The screen flickered to life, revealing a being similar to Thex, but with more elaborate crystalline patterns across its exoskeleton. "I am High Commander Xylax of the Nexus Confederation Defense Force. We request permission to enter Earth orbit for diplomatic discussions." Diana allowed herself a small smile. The change in tone from their usual imperious demands spoke volumes about how thoroughly Thex had briefed them on Earth's capabilities. "Permission granted, High Commander. Please maintain your current weapons status and follow the approach vectors we're transmitting. Any deviation will be considered hostile action." In the Chilean observatory, Victoria and Marcus watched as the massive alien fleet carefully maneuvered along the prescribed routes. Their quantum sensors detected multiple scans from the alien vessels, all attempting to understand the true extent of Earth's defensive capabilities. "They still don't quite believe it," Marcus noted, monitoring the scan patterns. 2 centuries of being the most advanced civilization they knew, and suddenly they're the ones playing catch-up. Victoria nodded, making minor adjustments to the quantum interference grid. "That's why we kept our advances hidden. The moment you reveal superior technology, everything changes. Better to perfect it first, make it unassailable." The reinforcement fleet took up position alongside Thex's vessels, their massive ships creating an impressive but ultimately unthreatening display against Earth's night sky. Around the planet, citizens watched through telescopes and live feeds, many still processing the revelation that humanity had been far more advanced than anyone had suspected. In orbit, aboard a neutral diplomatic vessel created specifically for this meeting, General Blackwood sat across from High Commander Xylax and Commander Thex. The station's quantum core hummed quietly, a demonstration of Earth's mastery over the technology the Confederation had thought uniquely their own. "Let me be direct," Xylax began, his translator converting his complex vocalizations into crisp English. "How did your species advance so far without anyone noticing?" "Simple," Diana replied. "We chose a different path. While other civilizations rushed to claim territory and establish visible dominance, humanity focused on understanding the fundamental nature of reality itself. Every resource that might have gone into building an interstellar empire instead went into pushing the boundaries of quantum physics." "But the energy requirements," Thex interjected. "The computational power needed for such advanced quantum manipulation became trivial once we learned to work with quantum fields rather than trying to control them," came Victoria's voice as her hologram appeared at the table. "Your civilization builds magnificent quantum computers. We learned to make the quantum fabric of space itself do our computing for us." The alien commander's crystalline forms seemed to shimmer with agitation at this revelation. The implications were staggering. Earth hadn't just matched their technological level, they'd completely transcended it. "The Confederation's council will need time to process this," Xylax said carefully. "Our entire understanding of technological progression must be reevaluated." "Take all the time you need," Diana replied. "Earth has no interest in conquest or dominion. We simply wish to ensure our security and independence. However," she added, her tone growing firmer, "we are prepared to share some of our advances with civilizations that prove themselves peaceful allies." The offer hung in the air like a crystalline possibility. Centuries of Confederation doctrine about technological superiority and manifest destiny crumbled in the face of humanity's quantum mastery. Hours later, As the diplomatic station continued its orbit, Victoria stood in her observatory, watching the combined alien fleet glitter against the stars. Marcus joined her, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Hard to believe it's really happening," he said, handing her a cup. "After all these years of preparation, humanity's finally taking its place among the stars." Victoria smiled, remembering decades of hidden work, of breakthroughs kept secret, of a civilization choosing patience and wisdom over immediate gratification. "We did it the right way," she replied. "We'll enter the galactic community not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals, better than equals as teachers." In the Quantum Defense Center, Diana reviewed the preliminary diplomatic agreements. The Nexus Confederation, faced with irrefutable proof of Earth's advancement, had agreed to recognize humanity as a sovereign power and establish formal diplomatic relations. More importantly, they had agreed to facilitate Earth's introduction to other spacefaring civilizations, this time as a recognized quantum power. "Message from the President," Colonel Henderson reported. "The public announcement is ready. The world is about to officially learn just how advanced we really are." Diana nodded, thinking of all the men and women who had worked in secret for decades, advancing human knowledge while maintaining the illusion of a pre-quantum civilization. Their time in the shadows was over. A new age was dawning, one where humanity would finally show the galaxy its true face. "Send word to all stations," she ordered. "Operation Ghost Shield is complete. Begin Phase 1 of the Revelation Protocol." She paused, looking at the ancient words inscribed on her office wall, chosen centuries ago by the founders of the Quantum Defense Program. "Not with a bang, but with wisdom. Not through force, but through understanding. Humanity's path to the stars was never meant to be a conquest, but an awakening." The future had arrived, and it was more magnificent than anyone had imagined.